Babe, wake up! A new lesbian meets the right man and now she's no longer a lesbian film just dropped. How very 2000s. How very fetch. Will I sit through conversion therapy propaganda for Aubrey Plaza looking like she's going to cheat on me with several other women, but I forgive her anyway because she just looks that good? Yes. Yes, I will. My thirst for that woman outweighs my moral backbone by quite a lot. All I'm saying is that it's time for Aubrey Plaza to write her own lesbian rom-com and star in it, where maybe her character wears a suit and plays guitar and gets the girl. Because nobody else seems to want to utilise her sapphic energy to its full potential. So I'm just putting it out there, into the Plazaverse. Hi guys, welcome to a video, and in today's video, I'm just going to be reviewing My Old Ass, which people seem to have very mixed feelings about. It's polarising. Oh, and I'll also be reviewing the film My Old Ass too. Hey! If you're not familiar with My Old Ass, it follows 18-year-old Elliot as she comes face to face with her 39-year-old self whilst high on mushrooms. When older Elliot starts handing out warnings about what her younger self should and shouldn't do, younger Elliot realises she has to rethink everything about family, love, and what's becoming a transformative summer. So I wasn't sure about reviewing this film at first because it's a controversial one, and whenever I share my honest thoughts on something, sometimes this place ends up being like the bar fight from Shrek, the third. But then I thought to myself, who doesn't love the bar fight from Shrek, the third? So let's get into it. I'll start with the positives. This film has a very gritty, authentic quality to it, and the dialogue and performances in particular feel seamlessly organic, all of which makes this film an incredibly engaging piece of work. On a technical level, it's a fairly smooth production. The pacing, the editing, and the cinematography are all thoughtful and intelligent, but more than anything, this film is entertaining. There's a lot of laugh out loud moments, most notably the whole Justin Bieber hallucination. That did get a chuckle out of me. And the actors all have incredible comedic timing and bring a lot of charisma and, when needed, depth to their performances. They have the range, darling. You can just tell the actors were given room to breathe in this film, and it paid off. Maisie Stella and Aubrey Plaza also have incredible chemistry in their scenes together, both platonic and also sometimes a little bit romantic, which felt confusing because they are supposed to be the same person, and yet, why am I shipping them? I mean, this might just be the fangirl / lesbian in me talking, but Aubrey Plaza was the highlight of this film and lit up every single scene she was in, and not just because of the manspreading. She was funny and on beat, and yet provided a real profundity and emotional nuance in her scenes at the same time. Also, her in that blue shirt, 5 stars. 5 gay stars. Aubrey Plaza in this outfit is relevant to both my interests and my homosexuality. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So the talented cast, thoughtful direction, and tight technical aspects are really the best of what this film has to offer, and essentially what carries it from beginning to end. The writing, however, is one hell of a mixed bag. The narrative is centered around the concept of time and the way we spend it. The film underscores the message of appreciating the now and holding on to each moment we get with loved ones, because our time on earth is short. The idea of your younger self meeting your older self is such a compelling concept, which creates room for so much substantial and interesting material. And the writing in the film in relation to that concept is intelligent and thought-provoking for the most part. I mean, a lot of people have said they cried during this film, which just goes to show how relevant and human those themes are. Personally, I didn't connect with the film on an emotional level at all, although that may just be because I'm dead inside. But I can still objectively appreciate the weight of the messaging and why it would resonate with so many people. The places in which the writing became questionable for me is in relation to Elliot's sexuality. To start with, for the first half of the film, I actually assumed that Elliot was bisexual. And this is because when older Elliot first appears to younger Elliot and they are conversing by the campfire, older Elliot mentions that her left boob is 1 cup smaller than and her right. But it's okay because guys can't really tell. Then there's a pause, but girls can. I have a hard time believing a supposed lesbian character, or a character who at least believes she's a lesbian, wouldn't question this kind of comment from their older self. And not only does Elliot not question this comment, she doesn't react to it at all, which indicates to the audience that the thought of being with both men and women is nothing out of the ordinary for her. You could argue younger Elliot doesn't care about or notice this comment because she's high on shrooms and there's a lot going on. But even if that's the case, like I said, the writing here is still insinuating to the audience that this character is bisexual. And as a result, the first half of the film feels confusing when it's later revealed Elliot thought she was gay and has always only liked women. In fact, the entire quote-unquote lesbian aspect felt incredibly contrived and pointless, and is the one part of this film that felt inauthentic, incohesive, and unintelligent. With the way Elliot was written, it would have been so much better and made far more sense if she was bisexual or queer or whatever from the very beginning, and the gay stuff was left out of it entirely. The way that Elliot's relationship with Chelsea is portrayed is also a choice. All of Elliot's scenes with Chelsea are reduced to something purely physical, and Elliot's desire for her, in her own words, dream girl, fades away the minute she meets Chad, who, funnily enough, she goes on to have a fully fleshed out, meaningful relationship with. And when you contrast the way that the two relationships are portrayed on screen, the lesbian relationship feels empty and performative in comparison to the straight one, as though it was only included for superficial queer points, or maybe even veering into fetishization territory. This reinforces and promotes the negative stereotype of bisexual women, reducing lesbianism to a purely sexual or physical experience whilst prioritizing and taking heterosexual relationships seriously. I also don't understand why a bisexual woman would lose all desire for her girlfriend just because she met a man she found attractive. To be honest, it felt more like Elliot had a straight awakening rather than a bisexual one. The writing reaches a questionable crescendo around Elliot's first time with Chad. At this point, the audience has been shown that Elliot has already acknowledged the fact that she is no longer gay. But regardless of this, she still announces to Chad that she's gay, and then follows it up with, "I thought I was gay until I met this person named Gary." Gary being Chad. And Gary made me realize I'm bi or maybe pan, directly before requesting the D. And the connotations attached to the wording in this scene are obviously uncomfortable. Was there really any need for Elliot to state that she was gay before sleeping with a man? What did it bring to the scene? It reads like something out of either an adult film or a Christian conversion therapy fantasy, which, let's be honest, are two sides of the same male fantasy coin. As a result, the scene felt so inherently cursed and insidious, and regardless of what the intentions behind it were, it echoes something very ugly. It's true that a small percentage of people who identify as lesbian or gay sometimes do discover that they are actually bisexual, and I think those stories are valid. I mean, it is incredibly rare for that to be the case because from a young age, heteronormativity is normalized and pushed onto all of us, unlike homosexuality. So if you are capable of being attracted to the opposite sex, it's not likely you wouldn't know about it from the minute you started experiencing any attraction at all. But I don't think this film stems from a place of wanting to seriously explore bisexuality at all. It seems more like a men and relationships with men are valid and good reassurance piece stemming from insecurity. And for these stories to avoid coming across as conversion therapy propaganda pieces or anti-homosexual, they need to be told with a degree of care and awareness, which this film doesn't have. There's a reason these kinds of films have a stigma or dark mark attached to them, and that's because, intentionally or not, they essentially validate ignorant notions about how homosexual women just haven't met the right man yet, and lesbians spend their lives trying to get away from heteronormativity and fetishization. You have straight men who have made an entire industry out of selling lesbianism to other straight men as being for their benefit. You have a sizable number of straight and even bisexual women who fetishize it and reframe it as something for male benefit too. And then you have people who don't believe relationships between two women are real because no male anatomy is involved. And this is just the tip of the nightmare iceberg, which in turn contributes to the way lesbians are harassed, fetishized, hypersexualized, and not taken seriously in real life. Not something Megan Parks and her husband ever has to worry about, of course. It feels very suffocating. This is why most of us want to live in a cottage on the outskirts of society. The other thing that made me side-eye the writing in this film is the Chad worship and the consistent reassurance around him. I mean, the whole loving Chad is a gift, being loved by him is the best thing in the world. There's nothing wrong with him whatsoever. He's just an innocent baby bird who has never had an impure thought in his entire life. But what grown adult is buying that crap? It was like Megan Park was trying to convince the audience of his purity and the goodness of their relationship. It was very strange and felt a little bit like it was veering into boy mumming, pick-me, handmaiden territory. It was giving heterosexual relationships are just as good and pure, if not purer, than sapphic relationships. And being with a man is a beautiful thing. What woman needs to be reassured that it's okay to be in a relationship with a man in a society where that is completely normalized and comes with a lot of benefits? I guess Megan Parks needed to hear it, and that's why she wrote this film. Then hey, she can do what she wants. She can make another 50 films about a lesbian who discovers the magic of men if that's her life's calling. But I wish she and other people would stop trying to pass this film off as fresh and progressive, when really it's just the same old regressive regurgitation of lesbianism being trivialized and reduced to a purely physical experience. Whilst men and heteronormativity are prioritized and put on a pedestal, that's been haunting lesbian cinema for decades. There's a reason that these types of films are better off left as a relic of the 2000s. Just saying. All of that said, I do understand why most people don't see past the seemingly progressive veneer of this film. And I don't think that any of the actors who participated in this film had bad intentions. Both Aubrey and Maisie are, in their own words, either queer or attracted to both sexes. I mean, Aubrey doesn't like labels, but for the sake of effective communication, both her and Maisie are sapphic women. So I don't think either of them would ever intentionally make something harmful. And I understand that from their perspective, A, it's a paycheck, B, this film is written and directed by a woman, which probably created an element of trust, and C, the questionable connotations attached to a lesbian character falling for a man are obscured by the perspective that this film is simply telling a story about how love transcends sex and how that intersects with the preciousness of time, or whatever. So I understand the why and the how behind this film, but like I said, Aubrey, please write your own lesbian rom-com. Please. I am begging you. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you've seen my old ass, don't make a joke. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.